Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Bobby Bright Show. Um, it's not an official show yet. I haven't decided when I start doing my podcasting and all that. But for now, it's the Bobby Bright Show. And you get out of line, no more episodes for you. How's that? Anyway, oh, a few things I like to go over. People go on. I know I try to do it at 7:30, and I didn't have the comments, and I don't know why I keep messing that up, but that happened. So, anyway, uh, yeah, nobody's coming on, so I'll give it a few minutes, guys. But anyways, wow, what another event to keep our minds off the genocide and the criticism of you know, the criticism of Israel of murdering children, women, news reporters, nurses, bombing hospitals, all that stuff, you know, and all the and all the politicians, backing the narrative saying there's a war there. Meanwhile, there's no war. What war? I don't see any Palestinians with weapons and army tanks and airplanes and bombs um, that are going on about Hamas. But who created Hamas? Who gave Hamas $50 million to for aid supposedly before October 7th that they parachuted out of the sky? You know, like you just can't write this stuff. But anyway, uh, I know I'm talking to myself, but some topics. What's going on now with the Charlie Kirk? Now they're using political violence. Oh, we got to make a law on that. More free speech done and everything. These they reported this murder a day before it happened, so I don't know. And today is 9/11, and and they're on TV still pushing that narrative that we all know it's a lie. You know, the footage showing over the years, the congresses that I attended, the evidence is just overwhelming, and it's just ignored. Uh, we all know it's a Mossad operation, Wassadi cocaine players doing a jihad, were they? Yeah, and of course, all the other players that went along with it, you know, the traitors in the government at that time. Just like the Oklahoma bombing that they put on McGee, that's turning out to be another policy, but I guess he's dead now. So, you know, when all those billions of dollars, trillions of dollars were missing, all of a sudden when the bomb goes, oh, all the files are gone. Just like when the CIA, all that department's gone with all the files with all that money missing. You know, like what they want us to believe is just, that, you know, airplanes could take down two structures. And what about the Solomon building in, Tower 7? You know, like I have it on video, like many people, but they don't put it on the news. They don't, advertise it properly. But you see the demolition going off, and then reported that building collapsing to BBC 20 minutes before it happened. So, so I mean, I don't know about you guys or anybody, but to me, it's really a assault on our intelligence and how they're on TV, just pushing that narrative. That's just mind control, brainwashing techniques. You know what I mean, right? How they had Bin Laden within 20 minutes. Oh, it was him. Even the FBI said there was zero proof. What's there zero proof again? It's just on and on. And you notice also that whenever they're in the hot seat, they need a big event for a distraction. Now here we go with a Charlie Kirk. I don't know if they reported Charlie Kirk's murder a day before it happened. Like, so something funny there. And in these witnesses that they put on TV were in other events and known to go to crisis acting school. So there's something funny there. Right? So now, of course, what's coming is our more free speech is going to be attacked, which was been doing, you know, since 9/11. You know what I mean? And during the pandemic of the COVID, you know, that anybody that goes against narrative, then they're a conspiracy theory. Not they don't get no time. Um, now this political violence. Well, if we had a dialogue, citizen, to talk to these guys and ask the right questions, not the prearranged fucking questions. And when they have their stuff in the air to get the answers, and it looks on TV, they know what they're talking about. Well, they don't. They don't care. This is all a show. Television is just fucking theater. Period. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's all it is. It's all to mind control, keep us in a state of fear, and then they make up new laws and legislation, and always under the guise of our safety, like they did at 9/11 with all the cameras and their phones and everything. We got to stop that. The war on terror. Well, let's get into the war on terror. The war on terror, okay? The head of ISIS, Israeli Secret Intelligence Service, the head of ISIS, the head terrorist is now the head of Syria. Well, you tell me, I mean, it's just unbelievable the crap that they want us to believe, and that Hamas parachuted out of the sky for over 2.5 hours and nobody saw them in the most protected airspace known to man, like America, and landed, killed people, even had a van waiting to take hostages away. Wow, what an operation that was. It's just ridiculous. And then 2 months before that, they got $50 million for aid from Israel. Now, who created Hamas? Israel. So all these ISIS, Mujahideen, Al Qaeda, they're all proxies to do false flags all around the world, create terror and horror, and protect the drug heroin pipelines that take over, doing coups in countries that this one's a dictator and all this shit. It's just on and on, guys. But like you say there, Shelley, world's a stage. It's a big club and we ain't in it. Right? But anyways, in the near future, I'm gonna teach you how to do syntax on language that they use against us. Like if they say we're gonna reopen or we're gonna reinvent, we're gonna restructure, and RE in syntax means no, they ain't gonna do nothing. So, so just like stuff like that, I'm gonna teach you. Um, I've been studying this, and I actually took a course on it. So I'm almost a lawyer. I could probably almost be a lawyer now. you know, plus with the straw man stuff that I'm going to teach too. That I'm coming on there. I'm going to show how it works in America and show how it works here in Canada too. Right. This system they got. They create everything. We got to pay for it. Just like all the countries they bombed. Now we're getting all their immigrants over. You know what way that is. It's a new crime wave. All through our history of immigration, what happened? Crime wave, organized crime. And here they are saying they want to fight it and all that. And then they go on, hey, Ronnie, how you doing? And then they go on, how the war on drugs and everything. Who's bringing it in? Who taught the cartels how to grow poppies? They've been doing it since World War II. Weapons, drugs, and this disgusting racket, child trafficking. Why? They're going around arresting puppets, but why aren't they going to the source? Okay? These operations, these child trafficking operations, make more money in 1 year in more than cocaine. So $350 million business, and they pretend they don't know. They hide the Epstein list, all that stuff. All our politicians, I call them trictions, but they're all blackmailed. They're all puppets. They have zero power. They're not in power. They have signing power. That's about it. So don't be fooled on that. American government's owned by Israel. Like, that's just so obvious. 90% of the Congress are mostly dual citizenships. You got a senator in Pennsylvania that was in the IDF. Mm. No conflict of interest there, right? You know. So, anyways, I'll say hello to who do we got? Hey, Shelly. Uh, Beautiful woman. Shelly is very smart and intelligent and has a heart of gold. Hey, Ron. Hey, nice to see you again, buddy. Hope you're doing well too, brother. Are you back in the UK, Ronnie? Yeah. I don't know. But anyways, yeah. So I wanted to tell you about what my format's going to be when I get going. I just got delivered my green screen and all that, so I can do all the fancy. Well, I got to learn how to do all the fancy stuff, but I'm going to get it right into. Yeah. Oh, okay. Right on, Ronnie. Yeah. Oh, okay, bro. ETA. Yeah. Um, yeah, I'm going to get into in detail, like paragraph per paragraph on stuff. I'm not going to use big words. If I do, I'm going to syntax it for you and tell them what they mean. I'm going to show what they're saying and what it actually means. Okay, so stuff like that. Today, 9/11. Like, I mean, did you see how they are not? They're just showing people on that are pushing the narrative. There's not one person on there saying it's a both BS story or anything. Man. It's just it's hard to watch, right? And it's just terrible that to add insult to injury, 3,000 people lost their lives. The phone calls me that a lot of the Jewish people were called in not to come into work that day, and the lucky Larry Silverstein, you know, like I mean, the list goes on in the anomalies on that, and my heart goes out to the families that if you can get on like go on YouTube and see what these people went through to get answers and how they were treated and try to be hushed up and signing non-closure agreements and stuff like that. Like why? Why are they deliberately, putting the kibosh on the truth? Excuse me. You know, why? Like if the truth's the truth, why do you gotta hide it? Why do you gotta, say, oh, that's national security? That's another one they hide behind national security. you know, wow. You know, um, it is just crazy out there. You know, but wow. Um, any of you have any comments or questions or anything about anything else? I'm in. Yeah, you know, I want to get it all in. Yeah, I'm still on the port, Ronnie. Yeah, still there. But I'm thinking I'm retiring now after this season and starting my other stuff. Like I'm gonna podcast, but I'm also gonna be doing cancer treatments with cannabis, right? Which I'm learning how to do. The guy that helped me, and I'm retiring out of this country. That's for sure. You know, right? But my mission now, what I want to do, I just want to help people with the illness. Like, look at that racket. I mean, in America, like even here, okay, we don't have free health care. We pay for it via taxes. But in America, it is like if your kid gets sick, you're done. You're in debt for life. And they pretend that they care and all that. Meanwhile, they're the ones poisoning our children with these so-called vaccines that is on the rise. Look at the percentage of kids getting all these allergies and illnesses and everything. That all comes from them. Like, how do you put animal DNA and call it medicine in a vaccine? How do you put mercury in a vaccine and call it medicine? How do you put baby fetal tissue in a vaccine and call it medicine? you know, it's just unbelievable. And then the insult to injury, they make these um, charity events to help cure cancer. Like, come on. So I was born in '66, and they're doing it then. So you're telling me for almost 60 years, they haven't had a cure for cancer. Never mind, they don't even have a cure for the cold. You know, right? And all the millions and billions of money and all these people running around jogging their asses off, raising money. Yeah, well, I just want to say to them, hey, hey, the heart's there, intentions are good, but it's a ripoff. Maybe 10%, which they were required to do by law. That goes to the charity. The rest goes to in their pocket. So, I mean, people keep raising money for cancer, and there's no cure. It's still chemotherapy, which makes it go faster. Your death. It makes it worse. Think about that. Radiation in your bloodstream, in your bones, and you're going to get healthy. You know, these tumors. When you get a biopsy, that spreads it. And what we're now learning, what are in these tumors are parasites. So where are we getting the parasites from? We're getting them from the food we eat, the water we drink. Even the water is tainted. Water that says spring water on it, that's just a name. It ain't real spring water. You should see all the stuff they're finding in that. You know, um, and we get away with it. This FDA, another corrupt thing, Pfizer, that the European Union, Christine Anderson and Dr. Wolf just demolished Pfizer on the lies, caught him red-handed. I put a video up on that, and you know, and nobody's going to jail. You know, now if I give you, say, a shot of heroin and you die, but I'm going away for what, manslaughter? you know, but anyway, yes, Ronnie. Like I was telling you, I'm going to retire most likely to Aruba, and I have lots of friends down there, and I'm going to be doing a lot of med stuff. I'll still be doing a podcast and stuff like that. Publishing of my book. Oh, okay, what I did about that was it was good, but there were certain things, timelines and stuff like that I had to go over. But while I was doing that, I thought of other things and other people involved in my life that I love and care about. So I pretty well rewriting just about every chapter, you know. But what I have now, what I'm going to hand in now, I was told that it's a blockbuster. So well, after the years of writing this, and man, and to get that compliment from somebody who knows that, it's, I think it's going to be a book I can be proud of. You know, it has everything in it. You know, plus the stuff that I added in the political stuff. I was criticized by one publisher that I got too much disinformation talking about the vaccine. you know, even them, like who's like everything's under control. They control everything, man. You know, but what is really sickening is these pedophiles on TV, on the Grammys, on all these award shows. Getting awards, people treating them like they're heroes, that they are good for humanity. I totally lost my take on that. But anyway, look up Dr. William Martinakis. Yeah, I think I heard of him, but I'm really into Dr. Artis, Dr. Martin. There's a few of them, but yeah, I'm pretty sure I've have a few vids with William Mack. It's Smacky, isn't it? Yeah, but yeah, like these guys were scientists. They were up. Their licenses were threatened to to get the chop. For telling the truth. Like it's just beyond me how they go. This is a threat to our democracy. So was shutting people up, shutting doctors with different opinions. whoever gets to question these experts? We don't. You know, the experts. They then they'll put some flunky on TV and he'll tell it like meanwhile it's total bullshit. They're even lying on what a virus really is. You know, right? You know, it's just this whole world's upside down. The gender thing and all that. Men playing in women's sports. Like what it really made me sick was that boxing match where that man beat the crap out of that young girl. Like, and the fans were getting off on it. You know, just because they were making a statement that he's a gender. So he's good. He's a disgraceful, pornographic magazines and stuff in our in our children in grade threes classes and stuff. And then when you complain about it, they were calling the FBI on people. you know, you know, if you're a public figure, okay, you got to take the heat. You know what I mean? The way they can walk around and live in their mansions and and ignore people's worries, cares, and everything, what they're being paid for. So I come up with a plan with that was because all of these assholes, they all have insurance policies. Depending on how high up you are on the political star, that's how high their insurance policies are. So once you attack that by charges and all that, okay, they're done. Okay, they're not going to be, not going to be, elected again, and that's what they fear the most. So protesting works. You get out there, but nobody's protesting the media stations. Nobody's holding accountability for a dialogue to question our so-called public figures and stuff like that. That's all going to change. And all these events that they create, to take more of our freedoms away. It's not right. And people got to get more involved in politics and learn themselves, even learn the law. Like I did. I don't got to hire lawyers anymore, man. I can bend myself down. So, right. But it's just all up to everybody. But, well, anyways, like I was saying, books coming along. That compliment I got about being a blockbuster. I think it's time to hand it in and see what happens, man. And I'll tell you, a lot of the stuff I put in that I forgotten or didn't think to leave out, because I did get some flack on a few things for some people, but now I just don't care. This is my life. I'm doing it for my friends' kids, and that's it. I don't care. If you like it, I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Don't like it, I don't give a fuck. The ones that do get support, hey, thank you. But the ones that don't, oh well. I don't care. I'm living my own life, living on my own rules, and that's it. I don't give a shit who likes it, who don't anymore. I'm going to tell it like it is. And people want to tell me like it is, hey, that's when I come on here, I'll open myself up for, but hey, let's talk. Let's have a dialogue. I don't care, right? But one of the hardest parts for me, put knowledge and truth out there, is that my background of being a bad guy. Like, oh, was he? But I've coming over that. When people hear the truth, it's a truth, and you could hear one side and the other side, but in the middle is the truth. And when people hear the truth, they know it. If you're thinking, there's people, or I can tell them, yeah, I ran into Donald Trump the other day, and blah 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 blah, and they would believe me. Right? Right? Like, people are so gullible, man. That television is a real weapon of mass destruction. But anyway, like I said, I'm going to be coming on more. I'll be doing clips, stuff because people like to see the work that I do. I'll be doing course topics and being very educational too, right? Teach you how you can deal with authority and in your rights, and I highly recommend that we start pushing that everybody should get a copy of their Constitution and their state in America, your state laws, because every state has different laws and they make them up. Because people are getting messed over. People are getting ripped off, just from traffic stops. People are getting it by these organized crime. What it is, all the city halls, wherever the hell you are, it's all organized crime. Okay, it's all organized crime. You go in and ask questions at City Hall, all of a sudden, when you ask a real good question, all of a sudden they're calling security, and a security guard comes up with a taser and a gun. What the hell's that? You know, right? So just things like that, because it's coming, and they want to enslave us with this digital currency stuff. You know, no, a cashless society. Are you kidding me? Right? And if you don't comply, they freeze your bank account. They did that for when we were down in Ottawa protesting in the truckers thing, and then they lied about it. They put that Nazi on TV. That was Trudeau's guy. It came out in the Emergency Act hearings. That was his guy that dressed up as a Nazi for the CBC cameras. You know what I mean? Like, tell me they didn't try to sabotage that, calling truckers terrorists and racists, and honk when they're honking their horn twice. That means hail Hitler. And this Trudeau just went off his rocker. And the thing that's more disturbing than that is people believe it. These brainwashed people, that their problem of this is society, man. They can't think for themselves. You know, they believe everything they're told. You know, they don't care if free speech is gone. They don't know how many people have holes in their family, that people that went to wars under the guise of protecting our freedoms and rights and stuff like that. No, it's good. Hey, how you doing, Ramesses, brother? Hey, long time, man. How you been, man? I've been good, brother. How about yourself, man? I'm interested in you. Here's another great guy. Yeah, good to see you on here, man. Thank you for the support, man. I was just telling everybody else that I'm gonna be on. Yeah, I'm gonna be coming on again, and um, I I had some troubles in my life, and I wasn't on even online that much and all that. But no, everything's over. But I am gonna be online more. I'm gonna be doing lots of stuff, especially also too, right? With everything with the underground here and stuff like that. I'm gonna fill people in on that and stuff like that, and I'm gonna have a good show. Um, so I'm just here to inform people. I'm going to inform people on how to fight back with politicians. There's going to be a lot of knowledge and stuff like that. Because we're getting screwed over, and people don't know how to defend themselves, and they count on our ignorances. And so educate, man, educate. Like, it's really not that hard. I don't. People go to college and university to know what I know, and it's not that hard. And people pay to go to get an education, and then they want to like, I'll make an example. In Africa now, and Burkina Faso, with their leader there, man, he's got free education, he's got free water that he's building, free energy, doesn't charge his people nothing. He kicked out all the French, all the Israelis, everybody there that was, bleeding his country in minerals. You know what I mean? Right? Well, this guy, they want to call him a terrorist and all that, because this is what they should be doing here. They don't want nobody to see that, like Gaddafi. But anyways, yes, people are divided because it is deliberately like that, because when we're divided, they get away with everything, because people start losing their minds at what's right, what's wrong, and what's the law, and what's the Constitution. People are so easy to give up their rights and freedom just to prove a point. You know what I mean? Over a politician that lives in a mansion that we pay for to fly around the world. You know what I mean? In limousine, getting perks for all kinds of stuff, driving in limousines, and it's just crazy. Yeah, it is sad, man, and this is why I'm doing what I'm doing, man. Because when you talk, um, common sense, truth and common sense and logic, you know, like I said, there's one story here, but when you hear the truth in the middle and the logic and the common sense behind it, I don't care how stupid you are. You're gonna, you know, maybe a light goes on. I don't know, right? Because there's been so many things that are happening. But the political stage, which is always on television, is the tool they use to divide people. They make people hate, and if you don't side with the narrative, then you're out. You're right. That's how they do it. Like this conflict in Gaza. Like I mean, they are committing genocide, but then they're telling us that's not genocide. We're fighting Hamas. What? So babies in hospitals. Oh no, Hamas is like just with that conflict. They're calling it even a war. You know what I mean? They have no weapons. What are they talking about? Like anything Hamas got, it has glorified firecrackers. You know what I mean? They don't even can't even hit the targets that they want. You know. And why did Israel give them $50 million? Like I mean, so they use stuff like that. Oh, it's not genocide. We're in a war. Well, stuff like that. So and they come up with where there's anti-Semitic and all that, make you feel like you're a racist of some sort. That's what they make you do. With the gender thing, you're a homophobe. You're against Israel. You're anti-Semitic. Meanwhile, they're not even Semitic people. They're Khazarians from Europe and Poland anyway, right? So that's how they do it, and they pull the heartstrings out, but all through since television came on, man, the whole thing was to pit the whole thing you control. That's how other countries get away with it. Stuff is they have people pitted against each other, and people give up their rights and freedom just to make a point, right? They don't think about 20 years down the road with their kids or anything. They do what's right for them in the present time. You know what I mean? And that's a lot of the problem too. Yeah. What is it? My best wish is for everybody to care and respect each other before I leave, man. Because what, like, I mean, what types of religion teach hate? You know, these people are on TV, doing mass murder, invading countries, and and we're accepting the unacceptable. That mass murder of women and children is acceptable, you know, right? But like I said, we need a proper dialogue to talk to our public figures, which they avoid, because the media asks pre-planned questions, you know what I mean, and they get the answers from an earpiece that somebody's given it to them. So it's all everything's a fraud. It's all a stage. Television's all theater, brother. You know what I mean? So for make change is that people got to fight for a proper dialogue with these. Well, it's all organized crime, man. Right? Like you notice when they're in a public hall doing a speech, and then somebody's like, "Oh, what about this?" And all of a sudden, "Oh, arrest him!" Oh, right. Like they get tackled. Like when they were questioning Larry Silverstein on 9/11. You know what I mean? They were getting thrown out. Reporters. You know. So we don't have any proper dialogue with any of our public officials. Zero dialogue. We can't ask them anything. We have our crooked, corrupt reporting, which ain't reporting, have already pre-arranged questions that they answer like that, and it makes them look like they know, they know what they're talking about. Just these kind of types of people got to go, and they got to stop the killings, and they could end poverty tomorrow. Like, I mean, I just can't believe how they act like they care. And anyway, with their poisoning with pharmaceuticals, the poisoning with food, air, water, you know, keeping us down, keeping us stupid, keeping us dependent. Just like when this aid they give to Africa, you know what I mean? They're giving aid on one hand, but pillaging their whole country and giving them nothing back on the other. You know what I mean? Like it's just stuff like that. Which you should look up Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso of Africa, man. He's like kicked all the Israelis out. he's kicked all the French out. He's kicked all anybody that's pillaging his country. You know what I mean? And he's got his own internet system, so he's not on Google. Like, you know what I mean? He's got free education. He's doing for free energy, free everything, man. You know, it's just. But they call him a terrorist because that's what we should be living. You know, right? But you should really check out this man and all the assassination attempts they've tried, and just the power of truth and how he shuts up politicians with that they should be grateful for all the aid they get and stuff like that. You know, right? But anyway. Oh yeah, yeah. My email is in small letters. Run Robert B 4866 at gmail.com. Or let me put it. Maybe I can write it in the. Here, let me write it here, but I'm not Joe the typer either. Yeah, I'm gonna have an assistant and stuff. I have somebody that's gonna help me up with logistics of everything too, right? Because I got the green screen, you know, and well, I'm really gonna kick some ass on here. You know, it's gonna be really good, especially with the underground news I got. What's going on here, man? Like Toronto, Montreal, stuff like that. Right? So yeah. Yeah, that's for everybody. Anybody, yeah, I love to keep in touch with everybody on a regular basis too, guys. You know, I'm cool with that, man. You guys are the best. Like my book, like I mean, wow. But like I was saying earlier, yeah, I haven't been on because I've been through a lot of stuff in the last year. It's over now. I'm not going to dwell on it. I survived. Right? That's all I can say about that. But yeah, I'm back, and I'm going to be on, and I'm going to be doing more interviews. I got a few invites now. I didn't want to do them earlier because I wasn't in the frame of mind, and I really needed the solitude that I taken out for myself to really think and start my new chapter, man. Because I think I'm going to retire from my job, anyways. You know, very soon, and so I really had to dig deep and soul search and you know cut out a lot of stuff, man. Like you know, I'm always my worst enemy, so I have to be more disciplined in certain areas, which I've been practicing and getting myself you know in shape and stuff again, and you know I want to give up positive energy. I want all because everything we see on TV is all negative energy. It's all fear. Like, look at all the TV programs. It's all raping kids, murder. You know, raping women. You know, murder. You know what I mean? War. Like man, and we call that entertainment. You know, right? So you know, yeah. Well, we can do a lot more, man. It just but knowledge is power. Knowledge is power, my friend, and you're gonna see why as I keep doing these life stuff, man. You're gonna see all the hypocrisy. I know you know a lot of it, but in law language and all these statements they make, and you know what I mean. You can protect yourself by law because the most thing they count on is us not being educated in our civil rights, the law actually that is written, you know, because they trample all over it, man. You know, so. Oh yeah, man. It's you know it's not so nice down there. You know? But so what have you been up to, guys? On what's going on in your lives? I like love to hear. Oh, thank you, Shelley. You're the best, eh? Yeah, yeah. Guys, say hello to Shelley. She's like, you know, there's a strong woman there, boys. You know what I mean? Smart and intelligent. You know, it's just fantastic. But yeah, guys, you know, what have you guys been up to? Like, is there anything you don't know? Maybe I could help with, or you know, hey, I'm in, man. You know, but the most important thing is how to defend yourselves, and that's going to be a priority. that I'm going to do here. I'm going to show you uh, American Constitution and the Charter of Rights here, our Constitution, and how they just dismiss it. That's got to stop, right? So, my plans for the stream, yeah, I'm going to be doing live streams. I also have an amazing lineup of guests that I'm going to be interviewing. That's going to back up everything. They'll explain it better than I will, but oh, I you wouldn't believe the guest. I'm going to have. It's I'm going to have ex politicians, Canadian musicians. It's about on everything that's important, that information and knowledge that people should know. Right. So that's live streams are going to be questionnaires and talking to people and stuff. But when I get down to doing interviews, especially with victims of heinous crimes, um, because as you know, in my story, when I grew up, I was in all these foster homes and all that shit, and I seen a lot of, bad shit in there. So, you know, yeah, it's going to be very beneficial to a lot of people and educate and the signs to watch out for. How these young girls are tricked into these groups and then they're being prostituted out, man. Like, wow, you know, but you know, um, oh yeah, everything changed, eh, Ronnie? The Danforth ain't the Danforth the way we know it, eh, bro? Like nothing is. That's why I don't even go out. You go to a club and I'm the oldest guy there. Like, like I mean, there's some places, but it's just we had our time though. You know what I mean? So right. For me, my goal is, like I said, I had a lot of solitude, time on my own. I'm talking a couple of years now by myself. I've been through a lot of shit, and so now I'm gonna be out there. I'm gonna try to find a life partner, start a new chapter too, right? So that's what I'm after too, right? So, but yeah, stay away, man, because young people don't respect, you know, older people like us anymore. It's just so different, the dynamic now, right? They were how we were in some way, but we always showed respect. The difference is a lot of them don't. So, but and that's it, man. You know. Um, but anyways, like I was saying, I'm gonna have some far out guests coming on the show, man, and you guys are gonna be very impressed. You guys are gonna like everybody, even me. I'm still learning. Like you're gonna learn how to defend yourselves. You know what I mean? When somebody takes a move on you, like government officials and stuff like that, and I got all that down pat. Right? So you don't need to fork out a $10,000 retainer for a lawyer, man. You can do it yourself. And I'll tell you, the truth rules. They cannot go over the truth, man. Right? So yeah, the Duke. Yeah, I go in there frequently if I'm working on the other side of the port. I'll stop in there and see all the guys. You know, but that's about it, man. You know. But anyways, Ronnie, email me. Um, Rafa's, you email me whatever. Let's keep in touch, guys. And if anything I can help you with, man, just let me know, man. Because like I don't know in America, but here in Canada, they come up with this new tax law that they're going to put in action in 2026, and it is just out to steal your property. It's out to steal your pensions. It's just wow, right? So, but anyways, the world is upside down, and you know, little by little, educate. Man, it's the best we can do, and knowledge for yourself, protect your family, protect your kids. Don't let some government asshole come and fucking steal off you like they do. Like taxes should be illegal, man. Which it is, but you just got to know your way around that, right? I got a way around it. So, you're gonna get any other. Yeah, there's a couple of guys from from the old days boxing club gonna tell some stories and that. Like I figure I'll have Monday mob day, Tuesday, like you know what I mean. Every day, I'll have like a different content and stuff like that. And so yeah, it's gonna be very well, but I can't do that while I'm working. So once my season's over, that's when everything's gonna come in there. And like I said, I got some great people coming on from all over Canada, in the States, Australia, England, right? There's some stuff that people need to know, um, so they can't just have snap judgments on people and to stop this divide, like you were saying, man. Like, I mean, people don't know what they're talking about because they haven't suffered it. You know what I mean? Like when I know people that when the oh, oh, I got bad news about Joey, but I got some great stories. Great. I left a lot of my time with Joey and another guy, Steve Turney. Do you know Steve Turney? He teaches Krav Maga, the Israeli hand-to-hand combat fighting. Yeah, he used to be he used to be like the Burt crew. You catch my drift back then. That was his line of work back then. I got Jordan. Well, I it all depends on timing, but I'll tell you, I have Jordan. Um, I asked Jordan Peterson's daughter. She's cool. I have a girl on Facebook. Oh God, what's her name? Tajana. She's like 5'6", but a warrior, but she's smart. Just people that know what they're talking about, and you know, right. So it's um, I'm trying to get some. I'm trying to get Getty Lee there, or Alex Lifton or something from Rush. The player from Triumph. Uh, I'm having a brain fart with his name and everything, but I'm going to have a lot of good Canadian musicians coming on here. And I'm also to my main goal out of the year. I don't know if you've seen this documentary. It was called "Playing for Change," and they had musicians doing hit songs, but from all over the world, like all mixed in, all edited together. Man, wow! Check out the documentary. It's called "Playing for Change." If you're a music fan, so I want to do something like that here, right? This is why I want these musicians on there and stuff like that because I got a lot of connections in the entertainment business and the music and stuff like that, right? So I'm going to use that. But yeah, it's going to be really good, guys, and and it'll even be better like when you guys are on here because you guys are the coolest, right? So it's really good to have a good support system on here too, right? Makes it all worth it. So, but anyways, guys, I'm out, man. And you got my email there, and contact me, man. Anything like anything I could do to help on anything, like when it comes to defending yourself or anything, man. You know, I'm in. Okay, Rafis, you take care, man, and thanks for coming on. And hey, Ronnie, I'll see you later. Shelly, yeah, yeah. Peace, guys. Yeah. Thanks for coming, guys.